this lesson, we're going to take a look at the payment formula, i.e. the PMT formula. This formula is used to calculate the payment for a loan based on constant payments and a constant interest rate. So it's a very useful formula if you're working with loans. Let's take a look at the formula in detail. There's a number of different syntax that are associated with this formula. There's the rate, which is the interest rate for the loan. There's the Nper, which is the total number of payments for the loan and the number of payment periods for the loan. There's the PV, which is the present value or the total amount of future payments and what it's worth today. That's also known as the upfront principal amount. There's the future value, which is an optional field, and that's the cash balance that you want to attain after the last payment is made. And if the future value is left blank, then it's assumed to be zero. That is, the future value of the loan is zero. And that's often the case when you think about a loan. It's going to be paid off over time, and at the very end of the installment periods, it's going to be zero. There's also the type, and the type is defined as either 0 or 1. And a 0 means that payments are made at the end of the period, and a 1 means they're made at the beginning of the period. Let's take a look at the formula and how it's structured. So the first part of the formula is comprised of the rate, and then it's separated with a comma, and you have Nper, so the number of payment periods. Then there's the present value, and then the future value, and then the type. Let's go through the payment formula in detail through an example. In our example, on January 1st, 2020, Jupiter Company bought equipment through a loan for $1 million. The loan has different options available as per the table located below. Interest rates differ depending on the option selected. There's option A, B, and C for the loan. The loan financing company needs to provide the monthly, annual, and total payment information to the borrower. So using the payment formula, we want to be able to calculate that monthly, annual, and total payment information so that the borrower can make appropriate decisions on which option it would like to choose. So let's take a look at the different options we have in the table here. In option A, we have a loan amount of $1 million, and the loan amount, which is the principal, is considered to be the present value. That does not differ between the three different options. So the present value, i.e. the principal or the loan amount, is $1 million under options A, B, and C. However, the annual interest rate differs. Interest rate is equal to 5% under option A, 5% under option B, and 10% under option C. The number of payments per year is 12, i.e. it's paid monthly, and the interest rate per payment period is 0.42% under options A and B at 5 because it's 5% annually, and it's 0.83, i.e. 10% for the year, but it's 0.83 per month for option C. The number of years of the loan is 6 under option A. It's also 6 under option B, and it's 20 years under option C. The total number of payments, therefore, is 6 times 12 under options A and B because it's a monthly payment frequency, and so there's 72 total payment periods under options A and B. And under option C, there's a total of 240 payment periods, which is equal to 12 months multiplied by 20 years. In terms of when payments are made, under options A and C, they're made at the beginning of the period, and under option B, they're made at the end of the period. So let's take a look at the solution and how we can calculate the monthly, annual, and total payments based on the information that we have for options A, B, and C just by using the payment formula. So for option A, we can calculate the monthly payment by using the payment formula, and then we can use the monthly payment and multiply it by 12 to determine what the total annual payments are. We can also calculate the total payments by taking the annual payment and multiplying it by the number of years of the loan. So we essentially start by calculating the monthly payment, and then we extrapolate that over a yearly time frame and then also the life of the loan by just multiplying it by the number of months and the number of years of the loan. So as you can see in column E, in cell E42, we start by calculating the monthly payments under option A. So let's open up cell E42 and let's take a look at how the formula is calculating the payment. So we start with equals PMT, open parentheses, and then we start by putting in the rate. So the rate in this example is 0.42%, which is the interest rate for the payment period. Note that we didn't just use the annual interest rate, and the reason for that is because this is a loan that's being paid on a monthly basis, and therefore we want to translate the 5% annual interest rate into a monthly interest rate figure, which is essentially the 5% divided by 12. So the interest rate per period is 0.42, so we reference cell E33. And then we put in the number of periods, which is 72 periods, because there are 12 payments per year, i.e. one per month, and the loan is going to be for 6 years. Therefore, there are a total of 6 times 12, which is equal to 72 total payment periods. The present value of the loan is equal to the $1 million, and so we're referencing cell E30. And the future value is 0. That is, the loan will be paid off at the end of the 72nd payment period. It will have a 0 balance at that time. The type is 1, and therefore payments are going to occur at the beginning of the period. So based on that information, when we press enter, we can see that the total payments per month is $16,038.11. If we multiply that by 12, we get $192,457.29. And then if we take that annual number and multiply it by 6, we get $1,154,743.72. So that's the total amount of payments that need to be made over the life of the loan. Next, for option B, we can carry over that formula and apply it in the exact same manner. In this case, however, the difference between option A and B is that payments are made at the end of the period for option B and the beginning of the period for option A. Therefore, the monthly payment amounts differ. Because the monthly payment amounts differ, it'll affect the timing of interest, and the total payments over the course of the loan differ as well, as you can see in cells F44 versus E44. Finally, we calculate the payments for option C, and we do that in cell G42. As you can see, the monthly payments are far less for option C, and the reason for that is because it's a 20-year loan, not a 6-year loan. So the total monthly payments is $9570.46, but the total payments that need to be made over the course of the loan is much higher. It's actually almost double at $2.2 million. And the reason for that is because the annual interest is double compared to the other two options, options A and B. In option C, the interest rate is 10%, and in option A and B, it's only 5%. So I think one of the benefits of using this formula is it can obviously tell you what the constant blended rate of principal and interest is going to be over the course of the loan and over the life of the loan. It can also show you, the difference between the amount of payments that need to be made under different scenarios. So if you're on a tight budget, you could see what the impact would be of having a longer loan duration, i.e., let's say you are a business and you're just getting started out and you can't afford monthly payments of $16,000 for cash flow purposes, but you do have the ability to afford up to $10,000 of a payment plan. Well, option C would be more attractive for you under those circumstances, but you'd have to take into consideration that your interest would also be double under that scenario. So having this formula readily available will allow you to determine what your blended installments would look like over the course of the loan, but it's not going to give you the subjective analysis of whether or not you want to spend more money on interest. So I think another thing that you would want to do is just take the difference between the loan amount and the total payments, i.e. the $1 million minus $2.296 million in option C, and that provides a difference of $1.296911 in interest compared to the other options of only $154,000 to $159,000 of interest. And if you were to divide that by the number of years, i.e. 20 years in option C, that results in $64,000 of interest per year on average, undiscounted. But if you were to do that for options B and C, it would be much lower. It's $26,000 for option B and $25,000 roughly for option A. So the amount varies significantly on a per annum basis when you take a look at the total interest payments under options A, B, and C. Options A and B are far much more affordable from an interest expense perspective compared to option C. But the total cash outflow is, much greater, almost double at $16,000 per month versus $9,000 per month under option C. Hey guys, thanks for watching this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe from you. And if you want to learn more about Microsoft Excel, check out these videos above. And don't forget to check out our website, commercecurve.com, where we have lots of in-depth finance and accounting courses available with full training workbooks. All of our courses come with complete workbooks of lessons, examples, pre-built financial models, and training video. Hope to see you there.